Hi, this is Jeffrey Kerr at Kerr Financial Group. Today is Monday, October 6, 2025. The government shutdown continues and stock prices keep going higher. I think that catches some people off guard and kind of scratching their head. But the reality is I think the stock market is looking at other things and ignoring the turmoil in D.C. Stocks are looking maybe at another interest rate cut, looking at stronger economic growth, maybe calmer inflation, or at least not rising as much, and earnings growth coming up. Earnings season kicks off later this week, but a lot more earnings will be coming in next week. Last week, when we look at the stock market, had a very good week, and that included a very soft day on Tuesday, the last day of September. But for the week, the S&P and the Dow were up 1.1%, a little over 1%. The NASDAQ up 1.3%. The Russell, the small caps, led the way up 1.7% for the week. For the year, Dow up 9.9%, just less than 10%. S&P up 14%. The NASDAQ's up a little less than 18%. And the Russell, playing catch up 11%. So, the market, again, the momentum continues. There's a lot of structural trading with dealer flows and like that that's supportive of stocks. However, there's a lot of complacency and, this overvalued market, perhaps a bubble. And if there's a catalyst that reverses the trend and also takes away some of the momentum, I think there's a lot of risk that things could fall rapidly and fall, a large amount. But in the meantime, the path of least resistance right now is higher. On the calendar, there's not a lot going on with the government shutdown, I guess, restricting any data being released. But there are a few things. The Fed minutes will be out on Wednesday. The consumer sentiment is going to be on Friday, so there'll be some eyes on that. Jobless claims will come out on Thursday. Next week is the CPI report, middle of next week. That'll be a much anticipated report indicating, a show of inflation, lack of inflation under control, whatever the results are. I think also there's a big large expectations of an interest rate cut later in October. So we'll see if that happens. If there's any the reason because there's no data that the Fed holds off, that will be a big disappointment. And maybe that's a catalyst because right now, like a 98, 99% expectations of an interest rate cut in October. And that could set up for a fall if we don't get that. So that's it for today. Thank you for listening. Please keep the comments and questions coming. We enjoy them, like the feedback. Please like, subscribe, and share. We'll talk to you on Wednesday. Thank you again. Goodbye.